Alright guys, for today's video we are looking at my huge Fortnite Save the World schematic collection. I've got over 50 gold rolled schematics, and a lot of you guys have been requesting a video on this, so let's jump right into it. This first schematic we have is the Bald Eagle, and this pistol is great. It looks amazing, sounds amazing, is super satisfying to kill husks with. I have mine with headshot explosions. It doesn't really mesh well with the 5th perk on it, but that's okay. I did try a crit build, but I found crit build to be pretty underwhelming with this gun. But yeah, definitely a good weapon. Now our next one is the Bundle Bus. This is one of the best guns in the entire game. Super OP, mini boss and Miss Monster killer. This gun's always in my loadouts no matter what game. Of course, I've got a crit build on it, and then it has the same 6 perk as the Mercury LMG, which we'll cover in a second. So one of the best guns in the entire game. If you have it, definitely level it up. Definitely. Now this is the Corsair Sword. I've got a crit build on this, of course, because of this unique 6th perk. On crit, increase pistol headshot damage by 40%. Now if you pair this with the Jack's Revenge, you can hit over 1 million headshot damage without any pistol buffs in your loadout easily. So highly recommend using this weapon with the Jack's Revenge. Of course, by itself, it's alright. It's not the best weapon, but there's better stuff out there for melee. Now, moving on to the Gravedigger. This gun is a staple in the Fortnite Save the World community, man. Everyone's got a hard-on for Gravediggers. Looks awesome, but it's just your standard gun. It's actually one of the few schematics that you can have all damage on, so pretty good. Highly recommend this gun. It's definitely pretty powerful. Now this one is the Guardian's Will. This sword looks pretty cool. You can have double armor on it, and you can, I mean, it's got a pretty cool 6 perk too. When you eliminate 5 enemies, you regenerate shield. I mainly give this to defenders though. I don't find myself using this. It does have a pretty awesome leaping heavy attack though, so that's pretty cool to use. Now this next one, this is the hacksaw. This hacksaw is amazing, man. This gun looks awesome. Just sounds like a death machine. It's just so cool, man, so cool. One of the top tier guns for sure. Of course, anything from the military set is going to be pretty top tier. But yeah, highly recommend leveling this gun up. Alright, now the Jack's Revenge. This gun is amazing. You can have double headshot damage on it. Now, if we take a look, we can actually compare this to the old Betsy. It's got the same rolls, right? Damage, reload speed, a different element, which doesn't really matter, and double headshot damage. 6 perks doesn't matter when comparing. And if we look, the Jack's Revenge has almost double the headshot damage of the old Betsy, and that's without the pistol buff, or sorry, the Corsair Sword pistol buff. So you can get 40% on top of this, plus if you have someone else boosting you in your game, it's game over, man. This gun is OP, smasher killer for sure. This gun is almost always in my loadout. Now we have the Mercury LMG. This is one of the best guns in the entire game. Like I said earlier, it's got the same 6 perk as the Bundle Bus. But yeah, you do want to go with a crit build on this. I think it's the best one you could do. But this gun is OP, man, OP. Super good. Alright, now next up we have Mr. Red. One of my favorite melee weapons. I love this crowbar. I don't know why. It's just super fun to use. It looks awesome, sounds awesome. Its heavy attack is pretty bad, but it just looks cool. I don't know why I like using it. It just looks cool. Alright, so now we have the Neon Sniper. This gun is one of the best snipers in the game, specifically because you can shoot through walls and see enemies through walls. So, super awesome. Definitely a great gun to give to sniper defenders. I went all damage on this because I found the crit build to be pretty underwhelming. I mainly only use this gun for lobbers, and the crit build wasn't really one-shotting lobbers, so I switched it. But yeah, I highly recommend this gun. Now moving on, this is the Noble Launcher. This is one of the best weapons in the entire game. One of my personal favorite weapons. Just looks amazing, sounds amazing, just shoots just a massive beam of death. And of course you want to go all damage on it because it is a launcher. And then you can actually switch it up on this perk. I put crit rating on it just because I don't really need reload speed. But just a killer, man. Just a killer. Now next up we have the Obliterator. This is one of the best snipers in the game, if not the best. It's got headshot explosions. You can do double crit rating, double crit damage. You give this to a defender, he's going to annihilate everything. Yeah, pretty OP weapon. It does have some utility purpose. You can shoot down buildings and that kind of stuff, so pretty cool. Now this one is the old Betsy. This is just a crazy weapon. I used this way back in the day before the Jack's Revenge. It's got, of course, you're able to do a double headshot build on it. Super deadly, super OP. But I don't know. I think ever since the Jack's Revenge came around, I don't see a reason to be using this weapon anymore. So next up is the Pain Train. This gun has very good damage output. Looks awesome. It's a train, of course, Pain Train. When you reload, it has like a choo-choo sound. I actually don't like this weapon. I don't care for it at all. But it is very powerful, and it actually has a couple unique 6 perks. So the one I have right here is each shot fired grants damage, so definitely pretty good, especially when you're doing ramp up damage with crackshot or something. Alright, so next up is the quad launcher. This is one of my favorite guns in the entire game, just because it has the residual pile of fire whenever you shoot. And of course you want full damage rolls with durability. And I don't know, man, I love this weapon. It's so fun to use, especially at choke points and trap tunnels. Super fun. Alright, next up is the Rat King. This gun is one of the most OP guns in the game when you pair it with first shot Rio. I've got, of course, double crit damage for first shot Rio, which means her first 6 shots after reloading is going to be 100% crit chance, which is why I have this build like this. Just an insane weapon. The Hydra, Hammer Shot, all really good with first shot Rio. Now, next up is Sir Lancelot. This spear is amazing. It's got such a great lunge heavy attack. I give this mainly to my defenders. I have a triple health and triple shield melee defenders, and just give this to one of them, and they're basically invincible, so pretty awesome schematic. Now this one is my snowball launcher. I love this weapon, man. This gun has great impact. It's mainly all you use it for. Doesn't do massive damage, but it'll bounce around smashers, blasters, pretty much anything in its radius. Great to use at choke points and trap tunnels. And it is water, but again, you're using it for the impact and not really the damage, so that doesn't really matter. Alright, next up is the Spectral Blade. This weapon is awesome. Definitely a top tier sword. This was from the Fortnite event. And of course you can either go full damage, you can go crit, you can go attack speed, which I don't recommend. It already has great attack speed, great damage, and I did put water on it because I wanted to see what it would look like. It's got some, snowflakes on the blade and stuff. It's pretty cool, but definitely recommend it to be energy. Alright, so this is the Bear. This is my favorite shotgun in the entire game. This thing just so deadly, man. Just massive damage, massive range. You can shoot anyone far away, and it's got affliction, so it's going to do huge damage. Now this is my Tiger. This gun looks awesome. This is from the military set, and looks awesome. It's got a great skin, and it sounds pretty cool. It's medium range though. I find myself not really using it though. Of course I went crit build on this, so I've got 1 crit rating, 2 crit damage. It's alright. Definitely good. It's got its uses, but this is one of those things that's not always in my loadout. Now next up we have the Typewriter. This is amazing. Use this gun if you want to feel like a gangster. It's got just this awesome sound to it. And of course I've got fire rate on it, double damage. It's pretty good. If you guys have the schematic, I definitely recommend leveling it up. Now we have the Vacuum Tube Sniper Rifle. This sniper is just amazing. It looks pretty unique, that's for sure. Definitely looks unique. It is part of the nature set, and so you can't change it from nature. But I did do a crit build on it. If you play Sub-Zero Zenith and use this weapon, you can freeze almost everybody, any enemy that you see, because it's got such a high crit chance. But definitely an amazing weapon. You might want a different 6th perk on it because it doesn't mesh well with the 5th perk. Maybe you want Affliction or Snare. But headshot explosions works pretty well. But again, if you give this to a defender, defenders don't go for headshots and they won't get those explosions, so you might want a Snare on this weapon. Alright, next up is the Wraith. The Wraith is probably my favorite gun in the entire game. I actually have 4 God Roll Wraiths. Let's see, I've got one with energy, one with fire, one with nature, one with water. So definitely, probably, if not my favorite gun, it's gonna be my, one of my favorite guns. But yeah, just a super OP weapon. Of course, on all of them you want a crit build, so crit rating, mag size, 2 crit damage, and snare is probably the best 6 perk you could have for this weapon. But yeah, definitely one of my favorites. Alright, so the Broadsides. This is one of the best traps in the game for killing mini-bosses or anything high HP, really. I've got double crit rating, double crit damage on this. It has a long reload time, but if you can trap a mini-boss in a 1x1 and set 4 of these things down, that mini-boss will be dead in no time. Super awesome trap. Highly recommend it. Of course, it doesn't really need gold rolls, so you could probably get away with blue, but this schematic is awesome. Highly recommend it. Alright guys, well that does it for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. We have a lot more schematics to go through. We barely touched the surface on this video, but I appreciate everyone for watching, and I will see you in episode 2.